Well, welcome guys. My name is Mark and today I want to reach 500 elo and that's why I started to stream to have a few match and hopefully reach the glorious 500 elo at just.com. So I'm not gonna take my words for far, so I'm just gonna start a new game and hopefully I will have some winnings because currently I will need like 6 win to reach the 500 elo. I opened with my e2 to e4 with the pawn because I like to take out my bishop and queen with the black squares because I like to do that. But now I cannot really take out my queen from here to here. But he opened with his bishop right now with the white one. And he will maybe go for this pawn and take his knight here, and after that I cannot really take with my king because it's two of them checking this white square, so I'm just gonna move my pawn here and he cannot really move his knight here because I will take with my pawn. And I did that because if his knight would have been here, he could have been take my queen or the rook, and that's not really a good deal. But I think I'm gonna trade my knight for his knight, so I'm just gonna place my knight here. And if he's gonna take it, I can take with my pawn, just like this. So he opened his pawn right there. But now I cannot really take that pawn here because I need to move my pawn here to take out my queen after that, so I'm just gonna take this pawn because it's a trade with the pawns. But I'm just gonna move my pawn here and after that I can open with my queen, and if he's not moving his bishop I can totally take it for free, and that would be a really good deal for me. But maybe he's gonna take my knight because I wasn't aware of his bishop have a straight view from my knight. So that's maybe a lose, but he give me a check with his queen. But maybe he's gonna take my knight, but my rook is kinda securing it. I don't know if he's gonna trade it or not. I don't see much possibility that he's gonna trade his bishop. But he traded his bishop. And he opened out with his queen. If I will take my bishop, white bishop here, that will be good because I can ping his queen or just trade his rook for a bishop. But maybe I'm just gonna take out my rook here, and after that I can take this pawn because that's a free pawn, and after that I can move my rook here, but it will be most likely a trade for rook. Now I need to be aware of my queen is in danger, because if I doesn't really move it, I can take his queen, but it will be a trade for his knight. And at the moment I don't really want to trade my queen. So I'm just thinking how to solve this problem. Maybe I'm just gonna move my queen here. And I'm currently waiting for my opponent move. He took out his pawn, maybe he want to open with his rook. But maybe maybe I can take my bishop right here or not, because his queen taking that position. I'm just gonna move this pawn forward to move the next pawn to the next to the queen, and after that, not really like it's not have a much possibility, but maybe he will take with his rook. After that, I can take the knight with my pawn. I don't know if it's gonna trade it or not. He took out his queen from the way, and he can go here, and if I move my queen out of the way, I only secure my rook with the bishop, and I secure the bishop with the king. And after that he maybe take this pawn, and after if he moves here, he give me a check, and I need to move away. But maybe I'm just gonna go out with my white bishop, so I ping his queen. And it's not really possible he's gonna take my white bishop, because I will take his queen, and that wouldn't be such a great trade for him. But he take out his queen again. Maybe if I move forward my queen, his knight will be in danger, and he can move his knight here and give a ping for my queen. But I can take with my white bishop, but I would lose my white bishop, so that's not a pretty good deal, because my pawn is moving forward and nothing secured. So maybe I'm just gonna move forward this pawn to have more space. Maybe he's taking with his pawn, my pawn, but I can tuck it with my rook and have more space to breed with my pieces. Yeah, he doesn't really move his pawn out of the way. He just moved his pawn forward a square, and maybe I'm gonna do that too, because if I take it with my pawn, he can take it with his pawn, or he just want to block this way, so his pawn just staying in there, but he can take it with his knight. And if I move forward my pawn, I don't longer secure this position, and he will take his knight here, and after give a ping for my bishop and my queen. So I'm just gonna move my rook here. Maybe after that I'm gonna move my pawn there or not, because it doesn't really secured. So I just move back my white bishop. And maybe after this turn I will move my queen here. And if I get an extra round, I could have been moved here and give him a check, but I don't really move my queen here right now, because his black bishop is securing this position. So His knight is no longer secured, so I'm just gonna go roll with it. My queen doesn't really secure anything, only this black bishop position, but it's secured by the knight and he only have two queen here. The only problem would be if his rook moving here, and after that I couldn't knock out with my king, but I can move forward my rook with one and I can secure this position, so that wouldn't really cause any problem. So I'm just gonna go and take his knight because it's a free knight, and after that maybe I can take his rook. I doesn't really take his bishop because it's secured by the rook, but that's meaning a free rook for me, so that's a good deal. And I forget to move my rook, just as I said before. So I need to win 6 match, I think, not 7. Oh shit. Well, I need to be a little bit faster to reach that point amount that I want to. So I'm just gonna move my pawn from e2 to e3 to have opening for my queen and bishop. I'm gonna move my queen to h5 to take that pawn on e5 and give him a check, and he will most likely move his queen or bishop. And if he's gonna move his black bishop, I can take his pawn right there, or shouldn't even need. He need to block his king, but I can take a free rook, so that's a pretty good deal. Luckily for me. And maybe if I can move out my white bishop and I can move my queen here, after that I can try to give him a checkmate. So he moved out his knight. Now I can move out my queen because it's not really in a dangerous situation right now. And if everything's right in 2 moves, maybe I can win this game. But of course it's not a close deal because he still can move his queen. And after that he can take this position. So I will need to secure it with my knight too, that I move it like this. But now he's securing with his knight. So that's still not a good deal for me yet. And I didn't secure my white bishop, so that's a minus white bishop for me. Shit. But I'm not gonna move my knight here because that will be a totally loosed knight. So I'm just gonna go for the 3 pawns because why not? And he's most likely doesn't move his knight because he doesn't need to. Hey Sejuani, what's up? Like to see you here. Currently I lost my white bishop because I wasn't really aware of my actions. But I can move my knight here and give him a check, but that's just still a check. Or not, because if I can move my queen here, that will be a checkmate if I'm right. Or not, because I wasn't aware again of my pieces, just pieces. And I lost my knight again, because I wasn't really paying attention for the dangers. I cannot really take his queen right now, and I can only move my queen here to make it secure, but he will most likely gonna move his queen here, and I will have to trade my queen. But maybe from this position to black bishop only can secure this position and not like my pawn streak. And I lost my white pawn, so I cannot really secure this position, so I'm just gonna go for his queen, and I said that I'm gonna move. I don't know where. Well, I wanted to move it here, so he had to take his queen here, but anyways. I'm gonna move out my pawn to make his knight move somewhere. He moved it back. And now I will try to move my pawn here to make his bishop maybe move here, and after that I can move forward my pawn, but again I didn't pay attention and I lost a pawn. That is not very good. But anyways, I will try to make some movements with my knight. And now my knight will be traded, or my rook, but I don't really want to trade my rook, so I'm just gonna stay there. Maybe rotate with my king and have more freedom in this place. But I cannot rotate with my king because the white bishop is here, and I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to switch to my rook. Oh, no. I cannot move my knight here because his knight is securing this position. But maybe I can take my king knight here. After I can move it up there, I can take a pawn if everything is right. And maybe trade for his rook. That's possible, maybe, or not. Because if I move, I will lose my black bishop. So I can only move my bishop here and here. If I move it here, I can secure this position. But he have too many pawns there, so I'm just gonna move my rook here. So if I move my knight, I can trade his bishop if he's taking that turn. My rook is under danger, but I can simply solve by this. And he traded his black bishop for my black bishop. Maybe in next round I'm gonna take his white bishop if he doesn't move it. because his white bishop is safe right there, yeah. But I can take his pawn right there, and after that maybe I'm gonna go for this pawn and took his last rook. And maybe I will be in more advanced situation right there, if I can make this move. He'd take out his white bishop, and that doesn't really cause me any problem, except I have a pawn here, but I can secure it with my rook, so that's the thing. But I will trade this free pawn and maybe trade for his rook, because the rook is a powerful piece, I think. So it may be a good trade for me to eliminate all of the rook. So I'm just gonna wait for his move, and I cannot really take a trade for his rook because he moved out of the way. And now my knight is in danger, so I can maybe move my knight here back to make it safe. But I will leave a space for him to make a move against my knight or my king. And if I move my knight here, he can move his rook here, and after that he's bringing my knight here, so I cannot really move it. The knight is secured by the pawn, so I don't think he's gonna take the knight. But I'm a little bit closed up with my rooks here, so I need to think about something. But for now, I'm gonna move back my knight here. Yeah, I don't really think so he's gonna trade it, but I can secure it with one more pawn. And yeah, I'm gonna do that. And maybe after I need to somehow open up with my rooks, because if somehow I manage my rook to go there, or not even there, I need to move it somewhere here, and after here, because his knight is securing this position. But if I can move it there, I can give him a check, and not a checkmate now, because he now has a space to flee. Maybe I will start to build up my pawns to make his bishop go away and have more space to calculate with.
A YouTube Premium a reklámmentes YouTube.
And now I get a
Ráadás.
YouTube, nice. But if I cannot really move my pawn right now here, because his pawn will take it, and I can take with my pawn, but that would mean that the bishop have more space to do things. And I cannot really move my knight from here because the rook pinging. And I cannot move forward my pawn because his knight will take it. But maybe I'm gonna go for it and move my rook here. So I can move forward my pawn, and if he's gonna take with his knight, I can take it with my rook. And after that I have more space to go forward for his king and maybe give him a checkmate. Yeah, so now I'm gonna just move forward with my pawn. And I need to be careful because his white bishop is securing that position, but currently my knight is securing that position too, but I cannot really move it because of the rook. So I need to be careful how I make these moves. And even his knight's securing this position. And yeah, he doesn't really go for the pawn, so he most likely is seeing that my rook is securing that position. But I was thinking that I move forward this pawn, but I couldn't. But if I move forward for here. His white bishop can take this pawn, but I secure it with my rook, so that's not really a problem. I will move forward this pawn too, and if he's gonna take with his pawn, I can take the other one, and my rook will have a safe space to go. And now my rook is under danger, and because he can go like this, so even that pawn doesn't secure. So he is gonna maybe take that, and yeah, maybe I'm just gonna go for here because my pawn is currently secured at the right corner, but not longer because he moved his rook, and if I move my knight here it doesn't be affected and would ping to rook, but he will most likely go for my rook right here. Or maybe I shouldn't have moved this pawn because my rook is currently here and it's securing this position, and if I move my pawn here it will be a better deal because I will take his pawn and his bishop. But I need to be careful because I don't really have much time left, so I'm gonna just try and do something to make this match a win match. And now I can move forward my pawn and make his white bishop move here because that's the only position, or move it here because these two positions that is not secured for is secured for the white bishop. Maybe I will try to move my pawn here, and after that I can move my rook here and ping this pawn so he couldn't take the pawn. Or I'm just gonna move my pawn here and directly move with my rook so he cannot go there, he can only move here. And maybe I will secure it with another rook and try to do something. And he moved his knight, and now it's my knight is under attack. But I'm just gonna go for my rook movements, and doesn't really care about my knight because that's just a filling character there right now. And I need to be aware of the time because I'll have only 40 seconds left. So yeah, I'm gonna take his knight because why not? And now I need to move forward my pawn. And now he's gonna take one of my rook. And he's gonna take the other rook too with his bishop, or he's moving his rook here. And yeah, I lost this match. I didn't see that. That wasn't a really lucky situation. But anyways. Maybe I'm gonna go for this. Maybe if I can move my pawn there, that would be good, or not. doesn't have much time in either, so I just need to move my character maybe if he ran out of time, but I have only 3.7 seconds, so that's not really a good thing. Yeah, maybe a stalemate. I had timeout, so I take too much time to make my moves, and I lost it at the end, so it doesn't really matter. So I don't need a 7-8 win, I need a 8 win to reach 500 elo, so I just only lost since I started to stream, but anyways. I'm gonna now move forward my e2 pawn for e3, he moved out his queen, and I can take out my rook, my knight, and ping his queen, so he will need to move it somewhere. He can take it there, but my pawn gonna ping it too. Yeah, you guys didn't see that much, so I need to win 9 games. Oh yeah, yeah. That's not good. So now I'm gonna move my usual e2 pawn to e3 and move out my queen because he opened forward his king, but he took out the pawn, so I don't really have much possibility to take out that pawn, but I can move forward that pawn. And now I need to move my queen because in danger I cannot really move here because it is queen securing it, here too, here to bishop securing it, here to pawn, here to white bishop, here to queen, so I cannot move it either, just in this T square. So I think I'm just gonna move it here. And I can take a free rook, so that's a good thing for me. His pawn may be taking my pawn or just moving, not really moving with his bishop. Maybe he will move with his knight because it doesn't secure and I could take his pawn. But he moved with his bishop, so now I cannot really take his knight because if I take it, he's gonna take with his queen back, my queen. So now I will need to secure my knight because it's in danger because of the white bishop. And I cannot really move out my queen because if I would do that, his black knight would take that. So I can take this pawn for free, and after I can move in kinda these squares, and this square I can escape, so I'm gonna do that because I need some breathing room right there, or I could have been give him a check, but I didn't do that because his knight secured the square. But now I have some escape plan for my queen. Now my knight is in danger. But I can totally move it here. There are some latency in the stream. So yeah. I think like 10 seconds or something short. I will check out. I think it's 20 second or 15 second latency. Maybe I will move my knight here. He can only take out with his queen, and after that I can take with my queen if he's gonna fall for it, but he didn't fall for it. And now my queen is in danger because of the knight, so I cannot move it here in this whole line because it's queen securing it. Here, neither here. So I will just move it here to secure my knight against of the queen. You're welcome, Sejuani. And now I can take my knight here. It doesn't really do anything with my knight, but I will have a free way for the square, and if he doesn't move his knight back there, I can take his knight and maybe give him a check. But I cannot move my queen here because of the other knight. I can give him a check by this, but he will take with his queen, and that way doesn't really secure. Maybe I'm just gonna make an opening for my rook. Or he's gonna take my black bishop. Or my rook. Yeah, no, I could have been take with my white bishop for tonight, but anyways. So he took my rook, but there are no problems because I can use my other way. So if I move my queen here, I can give him a check. But now he's securing with his queen, and if I take my knight here, he will be checked. He can move here, he can move here, he cannot. I will need to take out my white bishop, but that's maybe late. But I still can give him a check for sure. I will do that. And now, if I move my queen here, he will be checked again. And he can only move here. I think I'm gonna do that. And after that I can move my knight here to give him a check again. And if I move my knight here, I will give him a check again. He can move here, he can move here, or I'm just gonna take his... I can take his black bishop, that's for sure. And maybe if I can manage my queen to go there and after there, that would have been a checkmate if he doesn't really make a move with his queen, king, or with his queen. Because if he's gonna make a move with his queen, he will have more space to escape to. But we will see what move he do. Now he thinks I'm gonna go for his rook, but he doesn't know that I'm gonna go for a checkmate. If everything is right, he will maybe move his rook here or not. Because if he is moving it here, it doesn't make any difference. But as I looking for now, I see his knight would take my queen. But now that he moved somehow, some way, his knight here, I can take his knight and make him a checkmate. Yeah, 8 more games, boys, gentlemen. I will open with my usual 8-7 to a6. I will take out my queen here to take that pawn for free if it's possible. Except if he's moving his pawn here, but he doesn't. So I can take the pawn for free, I think, yeah. So he took out his black bishop to block the check that I gave him. And maybe I'm gonna just go forward with my pawn. So if I can move it here, I can take out the black bishop for a pawn. But now he took out his knight and now my queen is pinged. And I need to move my queen for sure. And if I move it here, I cannot really do anything except if I move it here and go for there and go for the rook. But that's not possible because his queen is securing it. So I'm just gonna go right there because that's safe for now. Yes, of course, I didn't know the music is a little bit loud. But here you go, I hope that it's better now. Johann Gottlieb groan doesn't pop up your ears. Now he moved forward his pawn and he's securing it with his knight, and he has an opening with his black bishop forward these places. Oh, sexy man. I'm happy that you like my sexy voice. So now I'm gonna take that pawn out with my pawn, not with my queen, because if I will take out with my queen, that will be a sacrifice queen. And I don't really take out the knight with the queen, because as I see now, he's securing with his queen too. And I need to be careful that he maybe moves his knight here, and after that he's gonna give a check for me, and he's gonna go for my rook. And I like to save my rook, so I'm not gonna go for it. but I'm gonna take out this pawn to have more breathing space for my bishop. I'm gonna wait for my opponent from India, yeah, to make his move. He's really thinking of how to screw me in this game. But he's not gonna, because I'm gonna reach 500 Elo today. Nothing's gonna stop me. Not even Capital Bank 22. He more moved his pawn forward, maybe to bait me to take it with my queen, or just securing his knight with the pawn. But I'm not gonna go for the pawn because it's secured by a white bishop. The thing is, I need to move forward that pawn, because if I do that, I can move forward even this pawn, and after I can open out with my black bishop and pinking his black bishop, so I will have more space, or just move his bishop to do something. So now I cannot really move my queen here, neither here or here. I need to be careful, because if he's gonna move his pawn here, I can only just move backward, because it will be secured every single square in surrounding of my queen. So I'm just gonna go backward with the square. And I'm waiting for Capital paying 22 again to make his move. It's a little bit warm today, and I'm sitting in front of two windows, so the sunlight is directly coming at me. And luckily for me, in this room doesn't have air conditioning, you know. And it's a little bit hot in here, so maybe after this match I'm gonna open up a window to make some airflow, because that's a little bit of suffering here right now. But now if I'm gonna take out this pawn, he can take with that pawn. After that I can move that pawn and make his knight pinged. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. If he's gonna move his pawn here, I will need to take out with my other pawn, because he will most likely go with his knight here to make a check for me and for deny it. So he took his queen here, that making the difference that he can take out my rook if he want to. But I'm gonna secure it, because my king can secure this position. Colpito Bank 22 is really thinking right now what to do. he's even taking more time as I do, but I'm speaking, so that's strange. Not really strange, that's just chess, but anyways. So he took back his queen because my bishop is securing that area, and maybe I can take out his rook, but again he would take my bishop and it will be paying my rook, and that's not a pretty good deal. So yeah, just wait a sec. So I'm gonna take his knight to have more breathing space into area. And now he took out his black bishop and my black bishop is pink too. So I need to think through, because if I take out his black bishop, that would mean that he's gonna take with his queen, and after that he's gonna take my rook. But I can move my knight here, so he's gonna need to take my knight first, and after that I can take with my black bishop, and yeah, I wouldn't waste my black bishop and my rook, just my knight. So that's a kind of better deal. And this will be the last match for this stream, but I will continue in a few hours, I think. But I will be back and I will reach 500 ELO tonight. I knew. I will know the truth. So if you like the stream and want to join up later, maybe if you subscribe and everything else, that's a pretty good deal for you too and for me too. So yeah. And now maybe I will rotate with my rook with here, because if I move my rook here, I will give him a check, and he will need to block with his white bishop or with his queen, or move with his knight, king here. I just say knight so many times that I always forget to have to mention the queen. And now he took one of my pawns, but I can talk with my knight, and even if he's gonna take my black bishop, I can take it back, but that's just a pawn and I don't really need that, so I'm just gonna go for the check. And maybe if he's moving his white bishop here, I can move out with my queen, because he couldn't even move here, and I can let out the beast, the queen. Yeah, just as I said, I can move my queen right now, because the king is under ping because of the rook. And maybe if I take out my rook, I can give him a check or not. But I can take his white bishop. And if he's gonna take with his queen, I can take his queen. And I'm just gonna move my... Should I sacrifice my rook or knight? I think I'm gonna just sacrifice my knight. Because if he's gonna take with his rook, I can take with my rook or my queen. And if he's not gonna take it, I can take out my knight here. And no, no, I'm not gonna do that, because if I take out my knight from here, he would take my rook here. He take out my black bishop, but I will take his black bishop with my king. Now maybe he's gonna move his queen here to give me a check, but I can move back my knight here. He moved his rook here, so if I move my rook here, or not, because if I move my rook here, I would secure this position and that it would open for my queen, but if I move my queen here, he will take with his rook, so that's not a good deal. But I need to somehow secure my rook. And now my queen is under danger because of the rook. Oh, because of the knight. So I can move my queen here. And after that, he cannot really move his knights anywhere, because my queen would take his queen if he is moving his rook. So I'm just gonna go for this. Oh yeah. And I fucked it up a little bit. Not really, a little bit. And I didn't lose anything, okay. But I lost my queen. Yeah, I most likely lost this. Well, anyways, thank you for the viewers who were here. Thank you Sejuani for the comments, to boosting this stream. But I started, I think, 450 elo, and now I'm at 434 elo. But I'm gonna come back in a few hours, and I'm gonna continue my chess adventure to be the best. Well, thank you for the watchers, and yeah, goodbye, bye.